Benin side. There he is again. Rumini has to get the early ball in, straight into the legs of his opposite number, and now Zimbabwe can look to spark a counter-attack. There's Masona operating off the left for now. Zamora stopped in his tracks by Johan Roche. This time it's Benin trying to play their way out from the back and nearly playing themselves into trouble. No harm done. Promising start though here from the home side, the home fans, be it a few 100 kilometres from home, responding in kind. Zamora has it nicked away from him. Now a chance to break for Benin. Tonji to Mounier. There's Alaitan waiting in the middle. Still, Steve Mounier. Decent shot. Comfortable enough save though for Washington Arubi. A rangefinder for the captain and number 9. Hasn't really had his shooting boots on so far this season since moving to Augsburg in the Bundesliga. 14 appearances without a goal or an assist so far since his summer move from Brest. Very consistent scorer for the French side, who made waves in the Champions League in Europe this season. Fittingly named Pirates. Briefly right at the top of the revamped UEFA Champions League. Even without Mounier's scoring exploits, had notched up 9,966 in terms of goals in his 4 seasons with Brest, but struggling to adapt perhaps a touch to football in Germany. Nice idea, the ball over the top, straight though into the gloves of Marcel Dangenou. Has shared goalkeeping duties with Satanin Alagbe. 2 apiece coming into this one. Dangenou making his 3rd appearance of the qualification campaign. Getting the nod from Gernot Rohr. Gernot Rohr, pre-match press conference, said it's a match both sides will want to win. We respect our opponents, qualified for the AFCON and have a very good coaching staff. And the coach I've known for over 30 years, I'm sure he's prepared his squad well. It is Gernot Rohr's side though on the attack, down the right wing. Divine Lunga in the way. Plenty of respect between the 2 head coaches. Michael Nees as well saying Benin have plenty of quality, but they're going to approach this match with positivity and self-confidence. It's been a fairly confident opening 10 minutes. Pretty balanced though. Off balance, Divine Lunga commits a foul. I think may just escape without a yellow card. staking his case. It was a slip actually from his felled man Rashid Mumini. He has gingerly got back to his feet now. Gunnar watching on. Like Mumini, a right back in his playing days. Was a fair while ago now. 71-year-old German. Started out his playing career at Bayern Munich before spending 12 years with Bordeaux in the French division. Was naturalised in France in the 80s. That's where he started his managerial career as well. At Les Girondins. Bordeaux led them to the UEFA Cup final back in the 90s, which they lost to Bayern Munich, his original club. They are now fully established in African football. Hoping to see his side produce the opener here. Free kick into the box. However, produces a whistle, which is in Zimbabwe's favour. Anashi Garananga there, making his 9th appearance for his country, 3rd of this campaign. Very interesting career already. Centre back, currently playing his club football in Denmark for FC Copenhagen. Started out in South Africa, then went to Belarus, Moldova, Belgium, and now Denmark. Still just 24 years of age. Well, there's a mistake at the back. It's going to be pounced upon and it's going to be punished. Benin have the lead and it's their captain who has pounced on the mistake. A nightmare moment for Washington Arubi. You don't give those kind of opportunities to Steve Mounier. His 60th appearance for his country ends with a 20th goal. One which puts Benin in the driving seats here in Durban. Oh, we mentioned a near miss or two as they tried to play it out from the back earlier in the game, but it's hands on head for Washington Arubi. The veteran keeper getting it all wrong. Chipping it up inadvertently onto the head of Dodo Doku, who kept his head, found his captain, Mounier, with the simplest of tasks, and placing the ball into an empty net. Benin 1-0 up, just over 10 minutes on the clock. Now Zimbabwe looking to immediately make amends. You heard the roar at the ball. Straight at Marcel Donjanu. Prince Dube waiting in the middle. It didn't reach him. Knowledge Masona couldn't quite get his angles right. There is Marshall Manetzi, given the captaincy, to pick up his team after that early blow. He was also talking in the pre-match press conference and said it won't be an easy game, but it's one they have to take as a final. Because if they don't get a positive result, it could very much be difficult to qualify. We didn't start well. We had a rebuilding phase in the first two qualifiers, but I think since Michael Nees came on board, we've progressed really well and confidence has been improving, said the Warriors captain. But that will be a blow to their confidence, that mistake. That's given Benin the opener. Now it just has to keep their heads. Been a good response to another showing of that chance for Masona. Didn't find the gap between Donjanu and his defenders. Prince Dube there lurking. Zimbabwe's new number 9 has been scoring for fun since making his international bow. 7 goals in 13 appearances. Was the Tanzanian Premier League top scorer last season as well. Oh, 15 minutes on the clock. And Benin already with the lead. A lead which in the live standings moves them to the very top of Group C. Of course, Rwanda and South Africa still to play. We take on Lesotho and Nigeria tomorrow. That's a more reassuring piece of keeping from Washington Arubi. Will turn 40 this summer. Keeper, say, still showing no signs of decline. Consistent performer, and that was a horrible moment a few minutes ago. 5 clean sheets this season for Marumo Gallants in the South African Premier League. Won't be getting one here this afternoon. Might have some more work to do as well. Here come Benin on the right hand side with Hintonji. That is gathered up by Washington Arubi. Shake of the head from the Standard Liège. Forward now on loan from Burnley. The rest of the season. Scored just a 1 so far. Born in France to a Beninese father, French mother, but plenty of appearances now for the Cheetahs. Slowed down by Dalmeida, as ever, calming presence in the middle of the park. As mentioned, both these sides qualifying for the AFCON finals, which will take place at the end of the year, on the turn of the year. It will be Zimbabwe's 6th AFCON finals tournament. Also took part in 2004, 2006, 3 in a row between 2017 and 21. Never made it past the group stage. Won just 3 and lost 10 of the 15 games across those 5 appearances. Of course, didn't get a chance to make it 4 appearances in a row, suspended by FIFA in February 2023. Ball into the middle. It's headed away by Divine Lunga. This time got his positioning perfectly between the 2 threats. Roar of expectation from the watching fans as Zimbabwe venture forwards. Manetsi coming over to support Zamora. Nicely worked. Patient build-up play. Renamotta keeps things moving. Now an opportunity to put the ball into the middle. There was no one at the back post. Zamora will pick the ball up and keep the chance alive. Lunga forced to backpedal. Heels caught by Ntonji. Hand of apology to the referee who let things continue. There is Prince Dubé dropping deep to get involved. Good pressing by Benin force Zimbabwe all the way back into their own half and ultimately all the way back to Arubi. Can afford to sit back and defend now with this lead. At the away side, I imagine we see a fair bit more of this whilst the score remains the same. Benin looking to pounce on the counter, potentially keep things tight at the back. Zimbabwe determined to move quickly, find an equaliser. Zamora battling away, looking to do just that. His pass though didn't find its intended target. Mounier goes down. Referee allows play to continue. Ball into the middle is slightly overhit. Forced Masona onto his back foot to make any kind of contact with the ball. I think he was attempting to pull it back. There wasn't really anyone in the middle. Did well to get anything on it, in truth. Consistently dangerous presence from the attacking end of midfield. Masona, 25 goals in his 51 appearances. Ntonji in space, try and pick the right pass. Instead cuts inside, squares up, Lunga goes past him. Does then run into trouble though, in the shape of Andy Urenamata. English-born midfielder, born in Leeds to a Zimbabwean father. Came through the Reading Academy, was their player of the season, 2018-19. Side which has since fallen on tough times. Urenamata's moved on to Cardiff. Long throw into the box is dealt with. And Alaitan now took the throw, forced to track back. It's Mohamed Tijani though, who makes the challenge over on the far side. No chances taken by Roche. And a potentially tricky position there, two closing him down. Got the shout, got rid of the ball. Emmanuel Jalai making his international debut. 26-year-old. And his first cap at right back. And has also earned a free kick here, which could see Zimbabwe threaten. Group of players all in and around the edge of the area. Marcel Donjanu not happy with something. More white shirts than yellow. And he takes one of them though, in yellow. To get the head to the ball, make all the difference. It'll be Masona to take. Whipped in with some pace. Samura couldn't get his head to it. Here come Benin again. Down the left-hand side with Olaitan. Urenamata can't stop him. And Ntonji gets a shot away. And it is a fair way over the bar in the end. to get the ball out of his feet. It was onto his weaker left foot though. Was leaning back a touch, turned away in disgust from his own effort. Just the 2 goals for his country, for the 22-year-old so far. Zimbabwe have never made it to the World Cup. In the early 80s, passed a law that people who held British passports wouldn't be permitted to hold a Zimbabwean passport, so players such as Liverpool legend Bruce Grobbelaar, surely Zimbabwe's greatest ever goalkeeper, weren't able to play for the national team for about a decade. Change in policy allowed him to play, and they were 1 match away from qualifying for the 1994 World Cup, only to lose the final qualifier to Cameroon and narrowly miss out. I'm sure Grobbelaar watching on, wincing a touch, as Washington Arubi's chip fell onto the head of Dodo Doku. It's opening up a touch here though, for the home side. It's forced to check back though. Anger with a ball forwards to Jordan Zamora rather, who is right on the edge of the area. It's a well won back in midfield and think forwards. Where's it going to drop? Got 1 or 2 players down. Referee is blown, but it's for an offside, not the penalty that those of a Zimbabwean persuasion were hoping for. Swell of noise inside the stadium. That is a very tight call. It was ultimately missed either way, I think, by Dube. I have to say he was interfering with play, but I'm not sure he was offside. Then Zamora, who was brought down. Either way, referee's decision final. It will be a free kick for Benin. Don Janu sends it long. Benin also looking to qualify for the World Cup for the very first time. There are more spaces up for grabs at football's global showpiece in Canada, United States and Mexico in 2026. Expansion of football's most prestigious tournament will open the door for several potential debutants. First time up to 10 African nations could feature at the expanded World Cup. Only 5 were present in Qatar, where Morocco, of course, made history, becoming the first ever African side to reach the semi-finals. There are 9 African sides guaranteed a spot in 26 World Cup. .48 teams up from 32. Some of the runners up will get another chance to make an appearance in a playoff for best ranked second place sides. We'll play out a semi-final and a final in late 2025, determining which African country will advance to an intercontinental playoff. Zimbabwe looking to keep their chances of doing so alive. And a corner here, which will be whipped in from the left-hand side by Knowledge Misona. Referee just wanting a chat with Mohamed Tijani. Sure, everything plays out as per his expectations. Masona towards the back stick. Flying in was Gerald Takwara. Centre back now sprinting back to his centre back post. But, not too far away there from nicking in ahead of Donjanu. Scoring what would have been his first ever goal for his country. This appearance, number 19 for the 30-year-old. Doku, former under-23 captain, made his senior debut at just 18, turned 21 in just over a month. He's waiting in the middle, but won't get a chance. I think a foul throw spotted by the referee, Junior Olaitan. Doing something wrong in the eyes of Bamlak Tesema. Garananga from right to left, sent forwards by Lunga. Here's Jordan Zamora trying to find a way past Johan Roche. And a free kick. Roche nonplussed as to what he did wrong. The barge more than the permitted shoulder to shoulder in the eyes of the referee. And now this another dangerous position for a set piece. Masona will take yet again and get a similar delivery, similar level of whip on as he did in the corner. Could cause problems here for Donjanu and his defence. It was in low this time. It's eventually moved partially clear after sitting there for what felt like an age of a Benin defender. Doku goes down, inviting the challenge from Menetsi. Not too happy to slow things down a touch. Ease the pressure had been mounting on his side. A little clumsy from the Warriors captain. To the frustration of Michael Nees. Menetsi, of course, now a Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder. Made the move in the January transfer window. Space on the edge of the area for the shot, when it was straight at Arubi. Sani Moran. Space ahead of him. Lovely first touch to drift away from Menetsi. Open up the space for the shot. Ranamata doing his best to make life awkward and did enough, I think, to slightly hurry Imran. Not the cleanest strike. Menetsi now a box-to-box midfielder, was a little more defensive in his early days, but gradually transitioned to a regular goal scorer in his time with Rancin, the French top flight. Only scored 2 in the first 5 seasons of his career, then 5, 7, 4, and had already notched up 4 in the first half of this season before moving on to Wolves. Has already grabbed his first goal in the English Premier League as well. Still just a 1 though for Zimbabwe, and this is 30th appearance. Knocked inside by Laitan. Lovely play, and a second for Benin. Dodo Doku, who created the first, finishes the second. Brilliant play back and forth between Doku and Laitan, and Zimbabwe now find themselves 2 goals down with less than 35 minutes on the clock. Doku's second for his country is Benin's second of the afternoon. Certainly onside, pair of 1-2s, and then dinked home. Takwara not able to get anything in the way of the shot, nor was Emmanuel Jalai. And over the diving Washington Arubi. Benin 2-0 up. And for all their endeavour in the first half, Zimbabwe ultimately made mistakes at the back, which have left them with a mountain to climb now, the remaining hour or so of this game. Marcel Donjanu rushing out of his line, judging it to perfection. Making the clearance with his head, even finding a teammate. And Zimbabwe's defence, certainly a mistake for the first goal. That was just excellent attacking play for Benin's second. Both Doku's goals have come in these qualifiers. 2 goals in 17 appearances now. Grabbed his first earlier in the World Cup qualification campaign. The match against Rwanda last June. Imran, inadvertently, must be said, stopping that with his right arm, certainly illegally as well. To their credit, the Zimbabwe fans still in full voice, despite a disappointing first half. The players too, far from giving up. Here's Manetsi, thinks about the shot from range, and that will drift wide. Just dragged the shot a little to the left of Marcel Donjanu's goal. Had opened up temptingly, no obvious option ahead of him. Prince Dube might contest that. It was a touch of bad luck for Renamotta as well in the build-up. Bouncing off the end of his boot perfectly into the path of Laitan. As they can produce quite brilliant comeback here. Zimbabwe's wait for a World Cup qualifier victory will go on yet further. They've only won one of their last 22 World Cup qualifiers, without a win in 10 since a 3-1 victory at home against Somalia back in 2019. Approaching 6 years now without a win in this competition. They've won just twice in their last 7 in all competitions. Both came against Namibia. in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers was enough to see them through to the finals there. Yeah, prospects of reaching the World Cup finals, though, are looking slimmer and slimmer as each game of this campaign ticks by. Still, though, plenty of time to turn this one around, get something out of it. Wonder what Michael Nees can inspire in his Warriors in the second half. Driving forwards again. A ball in from Masona, floated harmlessly over everyone in the box. His younger brother Walter watching on from the sidelines. At least for now. Be surprised to see him feature later on. Been a bright spark. It's up into the air and knowledge Masona will bring it down. And back to his beaten to it by Ntonji, but it's quickly won back. Here is Masona now. Nice disguise pass forward to Zamora. It's going to drop on the edge of the box. Rinamata immediately sees the ball fly back in the opposite direction. Never scored for his country. Was in acres of space there. Took the touch. It was a great piece of defending from Tijani. Throwing his body in the way of the ball. Putting it on the line for his team. That's what they'll need to do from here on out. And so a little more comfortable since that second goal. The final 5 of this first half. Likely 1 or 2 minutes of stoppage time. Maybe still time for one more clear-cut chance. Opportunity to grab one back, halve the deficit for Zimbabwe, and it would be a great time to score, carry the momentum into the second half. It's the cliched best time to score. Force your opposition manager to rip up their halftime team talk. That's what the Zimbabwe fans are hoping for. Will they get it here? Zamora fires in a low cross, but again, there's a white shirt in the way, David Kiki. Left back has more work to do here though. Lifted forwards, it's Zamora again. And there is the deficit halved. Marshall Manetzi, the captain, leads by example and possibly leads his side back into this game. Michael Nees, stoic on the sidelines. The man given the armband for this round of World Cup qualifiers. Scored just his second goal for his country. It's a very, very important one. Zamora bringing it down. It was missed by Masona. But luckily as it turned out, because waiting behind him in a better position was Manetzi. As mentioned, consistent goal scorer these days. There's another to add to his tally. 5 this season for his club, now 1 for his country. long throw. As we cut back to the action, is dealt with by Manashi Garananga. So taking a blow in the process. Landed awkwardly on his right arm, seemingly. He'll soldier on through to half time and get it properly checked over. We are now into first half stoppage time. Referee rushing over, keep things calm. Not sure exactly what sparked tensions there. Manetzi coming up against Almeida, trying to take it quickly. I'm sure there was quite as much in that as the referee made out, in my honest opinion, but feeling the need to keep things calm. That has lifted the spirits, not that they ever dipped all that low. It's been a strong atmosphere throughout, produced by the Zimbabwe fans, but vuvuzelas are blowing a little louder now. 2 of the 3 additional minutes still to play. Could Zimbabwe complete a quick 2-5 turnaround? Really turn this game on its head. Certainly in the ascendancy. It's brought down quite brilliant on the right hand side. The ball into the middle, not so impressive though. Did the hard part there. And only able to find Mumini in the middle. Certainly has that in his locker, Kamabiliat. Quick turns, rapid acceleration. That's a lovely first touch. Or just as Zimbabwe looked to break away, first yellow card is produced. Handed out to Divine Lunga. It leaves the Warriors instead with a fairly threatening free kick to deal with. Hand into the face of Andres Ntonji. Seemed mostly accidental. Referees a little stricter in the closing stages of this first half. Set down a marker perhaps for the second half, but either way, now it'll be up to Benin to try and produce a marker of their own, restore their 2-goal lead. Free kick, certainly within shooting range. 4-man wall employed by Washington Arubi. David Kiki fighting the left-footed option. Tijani and Junior Alaitan there as well. Front of the 4-man Zimbabwean wall is a 2-man Beninese wall to make things trickier for the keeper. It's deflected from behind. And that, the final action of a fascinating first half. Benin racing into a 2